the cable providers are mandated to give up to 5% of the money that they make in the town. As the number of cable subscriptions go down, so does the percentage that goes to a place to fund like ACMi. So many people in community media were able to step up during that pandemic and really keep local governments moving. So the demand really went up while the funding's going down. If you're asking cities and towns to put together not only the equipment, but the manpower to run that equipment, there's the real bottom line cost associated with that.
Are we recording on the stream deck? Are we recording on the stream deck? On the switch, are we recording? Start recording. Okay, now roll the intro. Welcome everybody to this highly anticipated matchup between the Arlington Spy Ponders and Reading Memorial High School. I am your host, Nick Antonakis, and on behalf of the entire ACMi sports crew, welcome to Reading High School. This is the first time we have traveled to cover an Arlington Spy Ponders game, and we couldn't be more excited. Reading Memorial High has always had Arlington's number, but this year they haven't had the same hot start as usual. They're 0-4 to start the season, while Arlington stands at 2-2. They may have had a loss last week against Lexington High, but they look to bounce back and finally break this curse against Reading Memorial High School. Some key players to watch out for: Caden Mills, Jake Kerbel, and Rashawn Mendel for the Arlington Spy Ponders. We're going to need them, as well as head coach Frank Roach, to step up and get the Arlington Spy Ponders their biggest win of the season. But for now, we're going to send you back to the press box in just a couple of minutes with myself and Miles Donato. We'll be right back. Welcome everybody to Reading Memorial High School for this highly anticipated matchup. between the Arlington Spy Ponders and Reading Memorial High School. I am Nick Antonakis alongside Miles Donato. Miles, walk us through who the most important player for the Arlington Spy Ponders is here today.
It's going to be Caden Mills. It's always going to be Caden Mills for as long as he is on this team. He is their star player. 650 rushing yards so far this season, 11 touchdowns are just astronomical numbers. He is coming off an injury, though. Last week against Lexington in the first quarter, he went down with an ankle injury, did not play the rest of the game. And so Darian Cherry, the backup, got a few good amount of snaps. He got 17 snaps in that game, around 83 yards. But it's going to be interesting to see today how the Spy Ponders and Frank Roach, the head coach, use Mills, knowing he is not 100%. Will you see more of Darian Cherry?
And Miles, just a key thing for the Arlington Spy Ponders to look for. I don't know if our viewers have been caught up with how the Arlington Spy Ponders have done this season. Why don't you walk me through some of their highs and lows that we've had going into their biggest matchup of the season against Reading here tonight?
Start off the season with a loss to Salem. Salem's a good team, top 30 team in the state. And then they come back with a big win against Salem at home, their first home game. They won that game, and they brutally demolished Brookline with Caden Mills going for 300 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns and a passing touchdown just to add on to it. And they're coming off the most recent game was a big mud game. Lexington on their field, they have that grass turf. It was raining, got very muddy. Both teams had to run the ball a lot, and Spy Ponders were without their best runner. So it was an uphill battle for the Spy Ponders. So they lost that game, a very, very close game. They only lost by 3, but it would have been nice to have Mills that entire game, give him those 17 snaps that Cherry got, and that game's completely different if Mills are getting that snap. Mills,
the Arlington Spy Ponders were leading in that game, right,
They were leading, and then Mills got hurt, and they couldn't pass the ball because it was so muddy and wet. So that slowed the game to clock down. Couple bad snaps on long snap, on punts, gave Lexington some good field position, and they capitalized on that. And then a fumble recovery to end the game, went like 80 yards for Lexington to win the game.
All right, and another big question leading into this game, Miles, is Rashawn Mendel. We've seen him struggle at points throughout the year, but he has been able to get it under himself. Throughout points of the season, we saw him succeed. We just found out Arlington Spy Ponders lost the coin toss. Reading defers. Arlington will be receiving the ball to start this game. What do you expect out of Rashawn in terms of leading this offense on their first drive?
In the past 2 years against Reading, Spy Ponders have scored a touchdown on their first drive. They did it here with Marcus Jean-Jacques, and then Caden scored one on the first drive, both on the first play of the game. So they can make a statement play. It's important starting against this Reading team. In the past, they've started well, and it hasn't gone well for the Spy Ponders, but hopefully this year they can do better.
Presenting the colors for tonight's game, the Reading Police.
So now we will prepare for the national anthem.
Now, under the direction of Mr. Joe Mulligan, the Reading High School Marching Band plays our national anthem.
The atmosphere here at Reading Memorial High School is ecstatic, to say the least. The Arlington Spy Ponders get ready to take the field and receive this opening game kickoff from Reading Memorial High.
Go
ahead.
This is actually a danger point for the Spy Ponders. They've returned 3, maybe 4 kickoff returns. So this could be a statement maker, is the kickoff return. That's something that this team has not had in the past, a kick return game. They do have it this year. They have Mills in the backfield ready to receive. They also have Kerbal back there. He returned 1 first game against Salem. Let's see what Spy Ponders can do here on kickoff and their first drive.
Reading gearing up to kick off this game that we have anticipated here at ACMi Sports for a long time this season. This one's been circled on our calendars for an extremely long time. Obviously groundbreaking on our part traveling to cover this game, but the Spy Ponders looking to make history themselves and get a much needed win against Reading Memorial High School. Kicking off for Reading is number 5, Jake Palm.
He is their gadget man. Jake Palm plays receiver, plays safety, and it's back for Kerbal.
Jake Kerbal is going to take this one back for the Arlington Spy Ponders. Has a little bit of room, but he's eventually going to be swallowed up around the 25-yard line. Arlington Spy Ponders offense takes the field.
Hello.
Miles, what are you looking for here?
Good return from Jake Kerbal. He managed to break a tackle, get those 25 yards, and the Spy Ponders are even going into their first drive. The question is, who will be at quarterback right now? Will it be Roshan Mandel or will it be Jacob Kerbal who gets the call from Frank Roach?
We've heard all this week, Miles, that Jake has been practicing, taking some snaps at quarterback. Let's see what the Spy Ponders have up their sleeve with the regular wide receiver taking the snap here for Arlington on 1st and 10. He takes it, an immediate handoff to Caden Mills, and he's not going much of anywhere. Gains about 2 yards on that one. He's going to be stopped around the 27-yard line for 2nd and 8.
The battle in the trenches is going to be a big part of this game. Spy Ponders, who are missing some key players on that offensive line, and Reading, who always have a good defensive line and front 7. So can this very young Spy Ponders offensive line make some movement for Mills to get some gaps?
Here's Kerbal now on 2nd and 8. Takes the snap. He's going to go back to Mills once again. Not much room for him again, and he gets to about the 30 this time. It's going to be 3rd and about 6 for the Arlington Spy Ponders.
2 yards on both those plays. They'll stick with Kerbal here for this first drive. They did this against Stoneham when they had Mills go in at quarterback for the first drive. It didn't work. Let's see if Roshan Mandel will get in this game later.
Yeah, but it's Kerbal back here.
He is also coming off an injury in the Lexington game. Late in the Lexington game, he took a sack, and
Kerbal takes the snap. Now he's going to keep it himself, running to the outside. Flag flies. Reading seems to have him swallowed. He actually breaks free close to the first down marker, but obviously a flag flies. Let's see what this is.
It's going to be a holding call on the Spy Ponders offensive lineman.
Let's take a look back at this play. Look at Kerbal running to the outside.
Number 76, Daniel Moda, reaching back and holding on to one of those Reading defenders. So this will go back 10 yards. It'll be a 3rd and long. I would expect Roshan Mandel to come into the game.
And nope, it's going to be Kerbal again.
No, they're still going to keep Kerbal.
It's going to be 3rd and very long. That's going to set them up about 3rd and 15, it's looking like.
Kerbal has a decent arm, but it's not the same arm as Roshan. So I'd be interested to see what play Frank Roach has drawn up right here. 3rd and very long without your starting quarterback on the field.
Spy Ponders getting ready to break from the huddle here. First drive has not gone the way they wanted. Obviously a big penalty to draw them back when it looks like Kerbal was turning things around, and 2 run plays that went absolutely nowhere.
That's going to be so important during this game. These penalties matter so much.
And here we go. Kerbal lining up in shotgun. Empty backfield this time. 3rd and 15. Takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself, and that goes nowhere.
Tried a little bit of misdirection with the movement from Harrison, but Reading stayed still, made the tackle, and now the Spy Ponders are forced to punt. A punting unit that struggled a lot against Lexington.
And we hope that they can turn it around today.
Yeah, a couple missed snaps.
Yeah, let's hear about
missed carries, and then 2 blocked punts. It's just, it gives the other team such good field position if the punt is blocked.
Oh,
high snap. Good job by Quincy to get that
gets it off, but
away.
It's going to go nowhere. It's going to dribble back to around the Arlington 34, and the punt disaster continues for the Arlington Spy Ponders as the Reading Memorial Rockets take prime position on the field, set up inside Arlington's own end at the 35-yard line.
Let's see what Jack Murphy, the junior first-year starter, can do for Reading Memorial. His brother, James Murphy, who was the quarterback on this team for 3-4 years, he's now playing at Brown. He was a 3-star athlete. James was more of a pocket passer, but Jack, he will take off with his legs, so be wary of that. Let's see what Jack Murphy can do on his first play.
Looks like he's getting an interruption now from the coach on the sideline, maybe an audible. And Murphy takes a long time to get the snap off, and it looks like Reading may have had a false start.
Shea Donahue with the movement before the snap. Oh, sorry, that is Brady Camaros, the sophomore, who leads this Reading team in receiving yards with 125 on 6 receptions.
While Reading gets prime field position to kick off their first offensive drive of the game, not a great start, getting a flag already, a false start, and it sets them back to 1st and 15. Murphy and shotgun. Takes the snap, play action, and it's picked off! Caden Mills going back the other way. He read that play like a book. Pick 6, and the Arlington Spy Ponders take the early 6-0 lead.
That's what Caden Mills can do. He is the game changer for the Spy Ponders. He reads that play, and he's gone. No one is catching him. He has that breakaway speed. Spy Ponders take a 7-0 or 6-0, hopefully 7 with this extra point lead over the Reading Rockets.
And we've obviously seen the Spy Ponders struggle on the special teams side of things, Miles.
Yeah.
Let's hope that that doesn't continue. How has their extra point game looked so far this year?
Their extra point game has actually been very good. It's a less powerful snap, and they've been decently accurate with Jack Zambarino kicking, the backup quarterback, and he nails that one.
Zambarino sinks it. Spy Ponders now lead 7-0. Horrible start for Reading Memorial High. First the flag, and then the pick 6 by Caden Mills, making an impact both on the offensive side of the ball, but today making his impact on the defensive side of the ball. Arlington takes an early 7-0 lead with 8:45 to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, beautiful read. It's just, that's what Caden Mills can do. I'll say it many times throughout this day. He makes a difference. Not having him in that game against Lexington severely hurt Spy Ponders. Let's see what Spy Ponders can do on kickoff. Peter Harrison, who has been taking the kicks, the junior receiver. He's known for his good hands. Does he have the leg?
Squaring up for the kickoff now for the Arlington Spy Ponders.
Peter Harrison. Their good kick from Peter.
Caught about the 20. And a big block in the middle. He has some room. Big amount of speed, but he stopped just short of the 40-yard line. Dynamic reception there by Reading. They look to be going all the way, but just tripped up at the last second. Reading will take over from their own 40.
Manu Mahatharian just barely got that leg tackle. Otherwise, Reading might have been gone. But now, Jack Murphy will have to prove himself once again. He threw his second interception of the season with that throw in the last drive. Let's see, can he bounce back? Expect maybe a run with Bursey, the running back for the Reading Rockets.
1st and 10 now. Murphy takes the snap. Arlington brings the heat. Throws, caught, wide open in the middle. Trying to reach out for the first down marker, but the Spy Pounders are going to mark him short. That's number 16, Bobby Morris, a sophomore wide receiver for Reading Memorial.
Thing is, this is a transition year for the Reading Memorial team. They're a very young team. They graduate a lot of seniors. They graduated a lot of seniors last season. And so they have a good core of sophomores and juniors here to build on. But this is going to be a transition year. You can see it by their record. They're 0-4.
Murphy, initially a handoff there for Bursey, and it looks like he was going to be stopped for a loss, but he pushes his way very close
Henry Tasmere,
to the midfield
the
marker.
lineman for the Spy Ponders, seems to be humbled over in some pain, and that's very bad for the Spy Ponders. He had an amazing game against Lexington.
Reading going hurry up here. 2nd and 8. Murphy takes the snap. He looks to throw. It's caught down the middle with a slant. 1st down and more by number 4, Zach Labriola, excuse me.
If Henry Tasmere is injured for the Spy Ponders, I don't think they have the depth to compete.
Yeah, that
here.
would be a pivotal injury. You were talking about him
The
pregame,
lineman,
Miles.
yes, the lineman. He's there with Gavin Carrero, the starting center, who's hurt. He won't be back till next week. He is one of 3 injured offensive linemen for the Spy Ponders.
And a big run down the middle, 1st down and more. Tackled was Devon Bursey. Huge lane down the middle for Bursey there, and it's another 1st down. Reading moves the chains once again.
Expect Bursey to get good yards in this game. He averages 4.9 per carry, 5 touchdowns on the season. See if the Spy Ponders can find an answer for this.
Reading not slowing down, 1st and 10. Murphy takes the snap, fakes the throw, and another big run down the middle there for Bursey. Doesn't get the 1st down this time, but obviously making his mark early. That's 3 straight big rushing plays by Bursey.
Yeah, if you can get those 6, 7, 8-yard carries consistently, it's very hard to stop because the time's still going. You're tired. You have to block. You have to try and get around these blocks. These big Reading players. Let's see if they will go to Bursey again with that halfback.
Murphy takes the snap. They go to number 2, Bursey again. This time he doesn't gain much. It's going to be 3rd down.
He's stopped by Brady Beckenhughes. He is the big body for the Spy Ponders. 6'5", 290 pounds, sophomore. Played beside him last year on the offensive line. He's now playing both offensive line and defensive line and has become a leader despite him being so young.
And it's going to be about 3rd and 3 now for the Rockets. Murphy in shotgun. Takes the snap. Play action, thrown, caught, again in the middle. These chunk plays for Reading are adding up as they move the chains once again. 1st down, a reception there by number 16, Bobby Morris. That's his 2nd of the day.
He has a lot of space there on the outside. The Spy Ponders playing with that safety, good 10 yards off of Bobby Morris. So he's going to sit down in those curls and see what he can do. He will be open for a good second, and Jack Murphy has the ability to get that ball to him.
Murphy now on 1st and 10, takes the snap. Going to run it again down the middle. This time the Arlington Spy Pounders a little bit more prepared for it. Bursey only gains about 4 on that one.
That was actually Andrew Giacavone, the senior for the Reading Rockets. I remember playing against him 2 seasons ago. He has the ability to break those tackles.
And Giacavone in there again for Reading. He takes the draw down the middle, and he pushes forward. He's close to that 1st down marker. I think they're going to mark him just short, setting up a 3rd and 1. That was number 7, Andrew Giacavone.
Let's see if the Spy Pounders can come up with a stop here on 3rd and around 2.
Is this 4-down territory for Reading?
I'm not sure their kicker's ability, but it is high school, so yes, it is 4th down.
Good call.
Territory.
3rd and 2 now. Looks like they're playing Wildcat. That's Bursey. He takes the snap directly, runs it down the middle. He got stuffed. And they're right on the marker here. They're going to mark it 4th and inches.
Dylan McGahan getting in that tackle. The sophomore played on JV last year, balled out on JV, got the call up this year to be the starting linebacker in that double sophomore starting linebacker group of Dylan McGaha and Ori Forrest.
Here we go. Reading is going for it on 4th down, 4th and 1. Big play here for Reading. Takes the snap, it's direct, right through the middle and charging through. Big touchdown score. That's number 7, Andrew Jackvoni with the score.
Here on senior night, the senior Andrew Jackvoni scores for Reading. Good job by the Reading O-line to open up that gap for him. Breaks a tackle, and he is in 4-6. Reading will be going for 1. In the past, they've done some odd formations on that extra point.
Saw a pretty regular one there, and it's good enough.
Yep.
7-7, we're all knotted up here at Reading Memorial High School. Spy Pounders offense looks to storm back on the field with 3 minutes, 18 seconds. And you see there, the flashing lights, this is a football town. I thought the power went out for a second, I can't lie.
The atmosphere is ridiculous. Senior night, everyone in Reading is here.
If you couldn't make this game any more anticipated than it already is, we just one-upped it, being our first road production in ACMi sports history. So thankful to the entire crew here today for coming out to Reading right after school to come up here and set up. And it has gone swimmingly so far. We can't appreciate them enough, as well as our entire audience back in Arlington who are with us watching this evening. Spy Pounders tied with Reading Memorial High School 7-7 after Andrew Jackvoni's most recent touchdown for the Rockets. And Reading will kick back to the Arlington Spy Pounders here. Let's see what they can do on this next offensive drive.
They went 3 and out on the last one. Can they get at least a first down, if not more? See if the Spy Pounders offense can become more explosive. We know they have it in them.
And a pretty short kick. It's going to bounce. Kerbel's there to get it. Doesn't have much time to run because of that bounce, and Reading swallows him up around the 24-yard line. About a 2-yard return there for Jake Kerbel, number 6.
Let's see if perhaps Roshan Mendel will come out. No, it will be Kerbel getting the call from Frank Roach. I think Roshan Mendel's injury in the last game is keeping him out of this game. We want to keep him fresh. My question is, will Henry Tasmere be playing? Yes, he is. He's in the huddle.
That's a good sign for the Spy
That
Pounders.
is an amazing sign. They've already have to play some younger players that they weren't expecting to play on the line, like Emil Bashwadi, younger brother of Han Bashwadi, who is in center for Gavin Carrero after he got hurt in warm-ups for the Stoneham game.
And I know you're actually, I'll say it after this play as the Spy Pounders set up here. 1st and 10, Kerbel in shotgun, Mills to his left in the backfield. Kerbel takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Mills. Tries to go down the middle, gets nothing. But you were talking about Emil Bachawadi. His brother Han and a bunch of other former Arlington Spy Pounders are here in attendance. We're going to have the opportunity to talk to them at halftime, get their insight on the rivalry against Reading. And Miles, obviously, you being a former Arlington Spy Pounder, how big is it for the Arlington Spy Pounders to get the win here today against Reading?
This is pretty much the #1 game every season. The atmosphere here is amazing. The atmosphere when we go back at home and play them is amazing. You always want to beat Reading. Reading is the #1 game on the schedule.
Now Kerbel set up 2nd and 11. Takes the snap. He's going to run it himself. Maybe he looks to throw here. He does not. Cuts to the outside. Doesn't get much. Maybe about 4 yards on that. but nothing much, as it's going to be a 3rd and long for the Arlington Spy Ponders. We're waiting on an official spot. Yes, it's going to be 3rd and 7.
Not having the ability to pass the ball here is really going to be detrimental for the Spy Ponders team. Let's see what Frank Roach on another 3rd and long can draw up.
And do you think they're keeping Rashawn out right now because of the injury, or do you think it's performance-based?
I think it is injury-based because he has played, minus the first game where he threw 4 interceptions in the first half, he has played a solid game. He has a better passer rating than Jack Murphy. He threw 4 touchdowns since then and to 1 interception. So since that first game, he's done very well. He has the ability to be the starter for this team. He is a junior. He's still developing.
So, yeah, we hope that he can work his way into this game eventually, as Kerbal is once again under center for the Spy Ponders and shotgun, 3rd and 7. Kerbal fakes the handoff. He's going to cut out to the left. Looked like he had a lane for a sec. He breaks a tackle, pushes forward, and it's going to be about 4th and 2. Didn't get that first down yet, and all could assume that the Spy Ponders would punt.
Nope, they're going for it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
With the punting troubles.
Their punting trouble has been so persistent.
If I am Frank Roach, I am putting my trust in Caden Mills to get me 2 yards.
And I think you're right. I mean, that seems to be the scenario here, as Mills actually is going to the sideline. That's not a great move. If they are going to, in fact, go for it. Kerbal's still talking to Roche right now. So
it's a very interesting choice to take out Caden Mills. I really believe that it's going to be a tough game for the Spy Ponders if they continue to go down this route.
Here goes Kerbal, empty backfield, shotgun here on 4th and 2. Takes the snap, he's going to run it himself. Has some room on the left, and he's going to get stuffed. Big play for Reading Memorial High School. And Reading will take over deep in the Arlington Spy Ponders end. Now, Miles, although it's disappointing Spy Ponders didn't get the conversion there, they're actually pinning Reading in a worse field position than they did when they actually punted the ball.
Yes, but it's going to be tough to stop them this time. It was an amazing play by Mills to get that interception, but it's going to be tough to consistently on defense against this Reading team. You will tire down. They have a lot more bodies on the bench than the Spy Ponders do, and they have more depth. So this could be a struggle if the Spy Ponders keep going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and Murphy gets as many chances as he wants.
He takes the snap. He's going to drop back. Under pressure now by Kerbal. Rolls out to his right, throws, and it is caught. Are they going to mark him in bounds?
He caught that out of bounds.
They do, yep.
Yeah.
What a catch there by
number 4. No, that's out of bounds.
Oh, no, yeah, it's not going to mark. Okay, for a second I thought they're moving down the chains, but number 5 for Reading with a great opportunity there. That was Jake Palm.
Jake Palm is the number 1 option for Murphy. He has 11 receptions on the year, which leads the team.
2nd and 10 now. Murphy takes the snap. Thrown, and it is caught down the middle once again. Another nice chunk play. The catch there by number 4, Zach Labriola.
Murphy's doing a good job spreading his options, getting all his receivers involved. Spy Ponders may want to be more aggressive pressing. They're giving Reading a lot of space, especially the receivers, a lot of space. Safeties are 10, 12 yards downfield.
Let's see how Reading does here on 3rd and 4. Murphy calls audible. Takes the snap. Play action. It's going to be a screen pass, and what a break up there by number 1 of the Arlington Spy Ponders. Sean Boyce was all over that for the Spy Ponders.
Beautiful play by Sean Boyce. It is 4th down territory, so Reading will go for this 4th and 6. They'll go trips on the left side, leaving Kamenos open on the 1.
And let's see now, Reading going for it on 4th and 6 after Sean Boyce's incredible play. Takes the snap, Murphy, empty backfield. Has some time, looks to throw, it is caught. What a catch there by number 4, Zach Labriola again for Reading Memorial High School.
Very important 4th down conversion for the Reading Memorial Rockets. Let's see, can Murphy get his team down and up by 7 before the end of the quarter? Probably not, as there is only 12 seconds remaining. And so they will just let the clock run out for the first quarter. First quarter will go down as a 7-7 equal draw.
And Miles, I beg to ask you, the Spy Ponders obviously a little bit of a back and forth between this one and the Reading Memorial Rockets. We saw the Spy Ponders take an early lead. Looked like they had this game in their control. What did you like from them, and what do you hope to see change in the second quarter?
I like the ability to have that explosive play. You see it from Mills. You'll see it from Kerbal. But I don't know about not playing Roshan Mandel unless there is those serious injury concerns that he can't play. If it is a performance-based benching, I'm not sold. I think having that passing game against this team is so important because their front 7 is one of the best in the division. It's one of the best in the state. So running the ball against them is going to be tough, especially with not a 100% Caden Mills. 100% Caden Mills, maybe it's a different I'm saying something different if it's 100% Caden Mills because he has that ability. But if Caden Mills isn't 100%, I don't see how you can just run the ball all game. They'll need to be able to pass the ball. So now Reading will have the opportunity to go up by 7. Watch the handoff to Bursey here.
As we undergo second quarter action, and like you said, Miles, you're definitely right. You want to watch that handoff to Bursey here, and they're waiting for the music to stop. It's still rolling. They got to wait for the cheerleaders to finish their thing. That's probably why. We see the cheerleaders going on the sideline. A little bit of an upset remark from the referees, but here we go. Second quarter action underway.
When Rob Savio, number 25, is in that fullback position, expect Reading to run the ball.
And they do here once again. Down the middle, a wide open lane, breaking tackles, and he's in for the touchdown. Devon Bursey with the best run of the day. Reading Memorial High School takes the lead 13-7.
Bursey.
Let's take a look at this play again, Miles. Look at this. He just absolutely ripped through the Arlington Spy Ponders line.
Sean Boyce and Caden Mills were there on the tackle. Both just went for the ball. And so Bursey, since they didn't go for him and they went for the ball instead, if you don't get that ball out, if you go for the ball, you better get it out. And they didn't. And Bursey capitalizes on it.
Reading now, extra point attempt is good. They take the 14-7 lead with 11:54 to go here in the second quarter. 14 unanswered points now for Reading Memorial High School, and we see the lights flash there as the Rockets faithful are excited. So Arlington Spy Ponders, they gave up 14 straight, Miles.
Yeah.
Obviously things have stuttered on offense. Their only score of the day was from Caden Mills' pick 6 on the Reading Memorial High School's first throw of the game. What do they have to change on offense? And I know it centers around their passing game not being present, but what can they do with the cards they have in front of them?
It's just so tough because you have so many injuries on the offensive line. You are at a massive disadvantage in the trenches. So I would want like I've said before, I want the passing game back because you're starting a sophomore at center who hasn't played. You are starting a non-lineman at guard in Emil. Both of these guys are called Emil, but Emil Emil Lemire is playing right guard, and Emil Lemire is not a big guy.
And look at that kickoff. It bounces right into Kerbel's hands. This is where they're going to have to turn things around at Jake Kerbel, who has been doing everything this evening, I should say, both quarterback-wise, trying to make his own plays, taking the ball himself, and it just hasn't worked out so far. Spy Punters are going to need some production out of their offense as they take the field here for the third time today.
Back to what I was saying, Emil Lemire is 180 pounds, 190 pounds at most, 5'7". He is not a lineman. He did not go into this season being a lineman, but there are so many injuries on the offensive line that they are forced to play non-linemen at lineman. And Roshan Mandel will go into the game.
This could shift things up for the Spy Punters.
Very
Finally,
much so.
The Spy Punters' actual quarterback, Roshan Mandel, is finally entering the game for the Spy Punters, and we hope to see a lot out of him here today.
Peter Harrison on the jet motion.
It's a run to Harrison on a jet sweep. He's not going to go anywhere. If anything, it's a loss of 1.
It's a gain of 1 for the Spy Punters. Still no passing play for the Spy Punters. You bring Roshan. Let's see what Roshan Mandel and Frank Roach can do, trying desperately to finally convert a first down. They haven't done it yet this game. Let's see.
Roshan Mandel, 2nd and 9. He has Mills to his left. Takes the snap. Harrison in motion. They hand it off to Mills. Still nothing down the middle. And Miles, I think what you're saying about the offensive line is adding up. They're getting absolutely no space to run the ball down the middle.
Yes.
Do you think that Roche is going to switch it up and start running outside, or do you think it's too predictable at this rate?
I think I've said it way too many times today, but passing the ball. They need to pass the ball to change this rhythm. Catch Reading by surprise. Pass the ball. I know the pass protection may not be there. Get some screen passes. Get, the wide receiver screens, the wide receiver face screens that we saw against Stoneham on that Kerbal touchdown.
Let's see what the Spy Punters pull out here. Mandel now on 3rd and 7. Takes the snap, play action. He's going to throw. Finds Harrison in the middle. He gets to the first down marker and more. Still moving down the field. Breaks the tackle and more. Past the 50-yard line. And he stopped around the 47.
There you go.
That's
you pass the ball, and you get 40 yards.
Exactly.
That's Peter Harrison has only had 3 receptions on the season. 3 receptions throughout these 4 games. He has taken that for 89 yards and a touchdown.
Wow.
He has that explosive ability.
A stealth weapon.
Which is very different than the role he was used in last season, where he was that slot receiver who got all the targets, maybe not those explosive yards, but he got a lot of targets. He'd get 6 to 7 receptions per game and get 5 yards on each of those receptions.
Spy Punters offense looking to heat up here. 1st and 10. Mandel sends Harrison in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Mills to the outside. He cuts, stiff arm with some room. They draw the flag. That's going to be a face mask on Reading, I believe.
It's going to be a face mask on Mills.
Oh, you think?
On the stiff arm.
I thought I saw Mills get grabbed, but I think you're right as we see Arlington moving back. If anything, that's going to be a 15-yard penalty on the Spy Punters if it stands.
Let's see what the refs call. They're looking
face
left.
Mask, and it is on Reading. Okay,
so you're right.
I get the nod there. Okay, first of few, but I will take it. It's going to be a first down for the Arlington Spy Punters as Mills, and I think you're right, Miles. He had his hand up there. It was close, but maybe they're saying that Reading grabbed first.
Okay. Well,
Regardless, we move the chains.
Very important.
And it's going to be another 1st and 10 for Arlington.
Free first down for the Spy Punters. Throw one pass play. And the offense seems a lot more open now. Because now Reading's not just trying to stop the run. They have to try and do both.
And Arlington
taking their time.
Yeah, he's taking his time on this one.
Let's see what the Spy Ponders can do. They're going hurry up real quick to the line.
Looks like they just jumped out of it, and Roshan is going to go quick throw to Harrison on the screen. Gets a good move down the middle. I think he got about 5 on that. And
Trying to catch Reading off guard. Quick running to the line. Getting that play off quick. Good block by Brady Beckenhughes to seal the edge and let Harrison run through the middle. Harrison being used here in this third drive for the Spy Ponders. It's a second and around 5. Can the Spy Ponders return a touchdown of their own?
And here we see Roshan hands it off to Mills down the middle. And once again, the running game down the middle has not been present today here, Miles. And it's going to set Arlington up at about a 3rd and 3.
That is the struggles when you are trying to play with an offensive line that has only 2 of the offensive linemen that started the season. You have 3 starting offensive line injured. It's very tough, especially for a team that doesn't have the depth at offensive line.
Under center now. Spy Ponders look to just sneak it ahead. And
they're pointing.
Mandel thinks he got it, but I don't know. I think they were short.
Roshan Mandel is confident that. No, they're going to call it short.
And it's got to be a 4th down try for Arlington here.
Expect the carry for Mills. They took him out on 4th down last time. He's going to stay in here. Spy Ponders need the touchdown.
And Rashawn re-enters the huddle. It's going to be 4th and about 1 for Arlington. And I think they're going to try the same package.
Some miscommunication here. Let's see, can Ori Force?
They pitch it off to Mills. He has some space, stuck at the line, and they're going to mark it a 1st down. Good effort there by Reading, but Mills ultimately gets enough to force the chains to move forward for the Spy Ponders, and their offense stays on the field.
That is a very crucial 4th down. You don't give the ball back to Reading. And if you go 2 touchdowns to Reading, it is going to be a long day. But they keep it at what it is now and have the chance to tie it up. 6 minutes 25 remaining in this half. Can the Spy Ponders maybe kill some clock going down trying to score this touchdown?
They have killed almost half the quarter already, Miles. We're down to about 6 minutes to go here on 1st and 10 for Arlington. Mandel in shotgun. That's Harrison in motion. He takes the snap, pitches it off to Harrison. He makes a cut, and it's not going to go much of anywhere, maybe about a yard, as the Spy Ponders will have to regroup here as they set up for 2nd and 9.
I'm very much enjoying this involvement of Peter Harrison. He was so crucial to last year's team. He has those sure hands. You pass him the ball, he will catch it. He doesn't drop balls. And he's just very reliable. He will get you what you need. And so getting him the ball frequently is very important for the Spy Ponders team. It hasn't been done so far this season, but in this game he's gotten his fair share of touches.
Now 2nd and 9. Mandel takes the snap. Handoff to Mills, and Reading is all over him. That was actually Kerbal who took the draw.
Now it's a 3rd and long passing situation.
And Sherry was unable to gain much on that one.
Let's see what Frank Roach can draw up.
And 3rd and 10 now for Arlington. Got to hope for a pass play on this one. takes the snap. It's going to be a screen, and Harrison's going to go almost nowhere. And you got to think Arlington will either try for the field goal here or
They don't have the field goal
I was
from
about
here.
to
That's
say,
way
yeah,
too far.
so they're going to be going for it on 4th down, and it's not great territory. They're going to have to shoot here on 4th and 14.
They throw that same screenplay to Harrison. I'd love to see him open up the playbook a bit more, get those passing plays that we saw against Stoneham, like that fake screen, and then the deep throw that they could use. They used it in, okay, timeout for Reading.
Reading's going to take a second to decide here what they should do, as the Spy Pawners obviously faced with one of their biggest conversions of the day here on 4th and 14.
3 minutes 42 remaining in the second quarter.
And make sure to stay tuned at halftime. We will be talking to Han Bachawati as well as the rest of the class of 2022 for the Arlington Spy Pawners. We have a whole panel of AHS alumni at halftime to talk about their rivalry with Reading, as well as some family ties to the team. So you're talking about Emil Bachawati here, the center for the Arlington Spy Pawners. His brother, 2 years above him, was in that spot 2 years ago.
Yep, I played with him for 2 years with Han. He was a real leader on that line, and you'd expect Gavin Carrero took over that role as the leader at center. But with this injury, Han's brother, Emil, he stepped up massively against Stoneham, and since then, as he lets out a scream, I don't know if you could hear that from here, but he let out a scream, just letting out his anger, his frustrations out. See what Emil...
Devoted to the craft of the Arlington Spy Ponder. 4th and 14. Mendel has plenty of time, throws it down the middle, and that goes nowhere.
Tempted screen to Jake Kerbel through the middle, but there is too much in the way for that. And
Reading completely swamped the middle on that. They read that like a book.
Now, Reading has 3 minutes 37 to try and go down the field and score to take a 2-possession lead before halftime.
And Miles, looking at how the Spy Ponders defense has played so far today, what's their key to putting a halt to Reading here on this very crucial offensive drive for them?
Stopping the run, stopping Bursey from getting those 9-yard runs consistently. It's tough. It is tough when a team has such a big and strong offensive line to make those plays. It's going to be a lot on the young middle linebacker core.
And we see here a wide open lane down the middle for Jack Murphy. He takes it himself. He has plenty of room on the right side. Can Kerbel catch him? He does, just forcing him out of bounds. But what a play by Jack Murphy, taking his own number and running over, I would say, 40, 50 yards on that one. What a play, and Reading sets himself up deep in Arlington's own end. Thanks to Jake Kerbel, that wasn't a touchdown.
Jack Murphy is a mobile threat. His brother, James Murphy, was very much a pocket passer. He made those passes without really taking off. He had the ability to, but he didn't. He stayed in the pocket. Meanwhile, Jack, he'll take off on you. He will run on you.
And Murphy, 1st and 10 now from the Spy Ponders 27. It's a run down the middle. Still on his feet, that's number 7, Andrew Jackvoni.
Good job.
Jackvoni had the touchdown earlier for Reading, and he looks to keep up his great run play there, and we have an injury on the behalf of the Arlington Spy
Brady
Ponders.
Beckenhuis.
That would be a brutal loss if
that's
he stays out of this.
The entire offensive line.
And let's get a look back at that big run from the Reading squad. This one not as big as we saw Jackvoni go down the middle. Didn't get much, and that's where we saw Beckenhuis get hurt.
Beckenhuis would be...
Take a knee in respect for Beckenhuis as we hope he can work his way back into this game, and hope he's all right. He
Back
gets up
in-
on his own power.
Okay, that is great to hear. Beckenhuis, the sophomore. Actually, his cousin, Aiden Beckenhuis, played here for Reading for
Yes, he did.
his number of years.
And he was elite. And his
Yes,
brother, Alex, played
Yep.
for Arlington.
I played
Him
with
and I
him.
graduated together.
Yeah, I played with him my first year playing football.
And regardless, Reading looks to sit up here 2nd and 10. Clock rolls just under 3 minutes left here in the second quarter. Reading leads 14-7. They look to make it 21 before the half closes. Takes the snap, Murphy. He's going to take it himself. Has a lane down the middle. Finally wrapped up by some Spy Ponders there, but Murphy was able to push forward for another big gain. Stopped, I was about to say just short of the first down marker, but the refs are going to, oh no, they are going to mark him short. 3rd and 1. Thought he was motioning for the moving of the chains, but Arlington now faces an opportunity to put Reading to a halt as they've been rolling on this drive.
And now with Brady Beckenhuis being on the sideline, Emil Lemire is playing D-line. He is traditionally a running back, linebacker. He is now playing offensive lineman and defensive lineman.
Jack Voney went down the middle there on the direct snap to Reading, and a Reading player's down. Not sure if they're going to mark it enough for the first down. It looks like, at least by the ref spot, that it's enough, but it looked like we had a Reading player injured. Yes, he's still down on the field. And the Arlington Spy Ponders now 2 minutes, 2 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Reading has a chance to make something happen here, as it looks like the officials are going to have a measurement to see if it is a first down as they tend to their injured player. This is going to be close.
Ooh, that is very close.
And I think they're saying it's just short. They are. And that's number 78 for the Reading Rockets. Isaac Robinson, number 78 for Reading, struggling to get off the field. And looks like they're going for a remeasure. Reading's coaching staff is up in arms here. Seems that they're not too sure of why it was marked short, but it's going to be marked short regardless. It's going to be 4th and inches. Reading just needs to push it forward here in order to get enough for the first down. And with 2 minutes, 2 seconds left here in the quarter, this is a pivotal play for both Arlington and Reading. If Arlington can force Reading's offense off the field right now, they have a chance to get a score of their own, tie this one up before we close out the quarter. If not, Reading has a chance to assert their lead even more and possibly having the chance of going up by 2 scores. 4th and inches. Murphy right under center and a flag flies. It looks like they jumped. Reading jumped. Arlington celebrates, and that is going to be brutal for the Reading Rockets. A 4th and maybe an inch turns into 4th and 5 now, as Reading needs to cash in on more than just a couple of inches to keep their offense on the field.
Very crucial to stay disciplined. A 4th and 6 is a lot different than a 4th and 1. Let's see.
4th and 5 now for Reading. Murphy in shotgun, opposed to being way up center before. Takes the snap, has some time. Heat coming on his right. Makes a move, looks to throw on the run. It is caught. That is Zach Labriola. Another big reception by Labriola. Keeps Reading's offense on the field. And a clutch 4th down conversion for the Rockets.
I think that's his third and 4th down conversion from Labriola. He might be the target that Murphy just favors in those crucial downs.
And the clock's still running here. That's a note to take. Reading
Yes.
thinks they're going to be able to score quickly if they're letting the clock now run below a minute. 1st and goal. Murphy in shotgun. Takes the snap. Play action floater to the corner, and it is just out of reach. Incomplete. His intended target was number 19, Brady Comenos. Brady Comenos looked to have had it there, but number 7 for the Arlington Spy Ponders. Matherian, yeah.
Yep, beautiful play. Good job not taking a penalty on that. Disrupting Camaros enough to make it so that he can't get the reception for the touchdown.
2nd and goal. Murphy takes the snap. He's going to take it himself. Wide open lane down the middle, but Arlington's defense able to get there.
Going to call it short.
Reading's going to take an immediate timeout with 39 seconds left.
Another injury for the Spy Ponders. That's Sean Boyce on the field.
That would be a pivotal loss for Arlington. Sean Boyce, a senior captain for Arlington, has led just a senior, excuse me, for the Arlington Spy Ponders, has led their cornerback core all year long. We saw him making some big plays earlier. He had that stick tackle earlier on that attempted screen by Reading.
Just made the tackle here.
Keeping
them in bounds.
And to lose him would be pivotal. We see him now on the sideline. He's standing on his own 2 feet. He seems to be hopping around trying to loosen something up. So we're hoping he's all right.
And other news on the injury front, Brady Beckenhuis is back in the game. So that's a good sign. These linemen have to be banged up. Going down with these injuries, having to almost carry the load for the replacement lineman.
And
3rd down and 1 yard. It's 1 yard
a little bit
for Reading. 39 seconds. Reading still have a timeout, so they have 2 tries here.
And regardless, they're going to pin Arlington deep unless if Arlington can get a miracle turnover.
Sean Boyce is back.
He's back in the game. And we're faced with now, and it looks like they're saying 2nd and goal?
It's 3rd and goal.
The PA announcer just said 2nd and goal. That's
the refs have 3rd, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. What the refs have matters, as this attempt to shove it down the middle doesn't work out for Reading. Arlington gets the stop. It's going to be 4th down.
Good job by the D-line for the Spy Ponders, getting to Bursey before he can get across that goal mouth. But Brady Beckenhuis still in some pain here.
Yeah, I see him.
He's trying to tough through it, but he is in some pain, and he is coming off.
Yeah, he's going to get a little bit of time to recover here as Reading takes the timeout. 32 seconds to go here in the first half. Reading leads by a score of 14-7, and they're faced with a pivotal 4th and goal at the 1 yard line. Arlington could really use a stop here. If you're Reading, Miles, what play are you drawing up?
I trust Bursey. He's done enough this game. You just give him down the middle. I know it didn't work last time, but you know what? I'd love to see a wedge play where all the linemen get very close together and make a wedge and then just push the quarterback through. Jack Murphy should have the ability to just take it in himself.
We've seen he has a leg ability through the wazoo today. Obviously, over 60 rushing yards so far today from the quarterback.
And that is what they're going to do. They're going to
4th and 1. Yep, he's going to try and shove it down the middle. Arlington doesn't seem prepped for it.
Oh, handoff.
Down the middle, and touchdown Reading. They extend their lead to 2 scores.
And there's not going to be much time for the Spy Ponders to return with a touchdown of their own.
And that was Devon Bursey, number 2 for Reading High School.
The 2nd touchdown of the game.
And it's a big one. Reading now up 20-7 with 28 seconds to go. They'll make it 21 if they can sink this extra point. And if you're Arlington, Miles, are you trying to charge downfield here with 28 seconds? I don't think you really have a dynamic play other than
They
Mills.
do.
So you got to give the ball to Mills here. That would be the expectation.
They do have the ability to do those dynamic plays. They did it against Stoneham. These lights get me every time.
I know. I keep thinking the power's going out. I'm like, oh, man. Just for our viewers at home, that is not the power cutting out, nor our cameras. That is just one of the many brilliant aesthetic pieces here at Reading Memorial High School. Flashing lights after every score. We got the Reading Rocket on the sidelines for their mascot. And that's just one of the many pieces of Reading Memorial High School's passionate Rockets fan base. So 28 seconds.
Past 2 kicks for Reading. They've avoided kicking it to Mills. They kicked it to Kerbal.
That's a smart move.
Yeah, very smart. But Kerbal has the ability to return it his own. As Kerbal and Mills switch last second.
Oh. And
let's see if squib kick.
Sure, squib. Oh, goes to Kerbal, bounces. He's eventually going to gain it. Run down the middle, gets to about the 30, and he's swamped. Kerbal, every ball that's gone his way on the kickoffs today has just been a bouncer. As we can see here,
they don't want to give any of the Spy Pounders players a clear kick because they have the ability to return it. So those squib kicks are the best option for the Reading, especially if their kicker, who's not a traditional kicker, doesn't have like the leg of the Winchester kicker, for example. Well, no one has the leg of the Winchester kicker, considering he's the #1 ranked kicker in the country.
What a lethal weapon it would be to have a #1 ranked kicker out of all positions.
Yeah.
But regardless, that's not the situation for Arlington or Reading, as the Spy Pounders are faced with a whole lot of field to go on 1st and 10 with 22 seconds left in the half. Let's see what Frank Roche and the offense draw up here. You got to think it's going to Caden Mills, because if anybody can make it happen, it is going to be Mills, as Kerbal actually starts in shotgun for the Spy Pounders. He takes the snap, and of course it's a handoff to Mills. He has a run down the middle. He has some space. Gets to the 50, makes a move, and he's just tackled. That's a huge tackle there by number 11 for Reading Memorial High, Zach Lindmark. But the Spy Pounders obviously put into a position to make something happen here at the 35-yard line thanks to Mills' huge run on that play.
Mills, if he breaks that one more tackle, he's gone for 6.
And it was so close yet so far for Arlington. Close but no cigars, I would say, back in my commentating days. But regardless, 12 seconds to go. Arlington now with a chance to make something happen.
12 seconds.
At the 41-yard line of the Reading Memorial Rockets. And the big decision is going to be whether or not you put in Rashawn Mendel to even expose the opportunity of a pass attempt from Arlington to maybe throw off Reading's defense a little bit.
Spy Pounders still have 1 timeout, so they have time to run one more running play with Mills, and that's what I would expect them to do here.
Yeah, I would agree. Give it to your best player. He obviously has a chance to go big on every play, and it seems that's what they're going to do, as Kerbal is in the back to take the snap. And he's going to keep it himself. I don't know about this, as he runs outside. Doesn't have any room. He goes out of bounds. That saves the timeout. But
there's only 4 seconds left.
You
have one play.
You got to do something. And questionable play calling there from Arlington, to say the least, is that burns a good amount of time off the clock and not a lot of yardage. Only 2 yards gained on that last play.
Reading is too disciplined to be caught by those QB keepers. So the reliance on trying to do that play consistently kind of confuses me for the Spy Pounders, as Roshan Mendel will come into the game
and you got to
try and throw deep.
And look at Reading's defense. what is this, cover 4?
Deep cover 4, only sending 3.
2nd and 8, but this is the last play of the quarter regardless with 4 seconds left.
Does Roshan have the arm strength to get it down there?
They're
They'll
going
throw
to
it quick.
throw a screen to Kerbal. He sends it off to Mills. Mills is going to lateral it back to Kerbal, and he's swallowed up, and that'll end the quarter. Spy Ponders trail by a score of 20-7 here going into halftime. Miles, we'll kick it to the highlights from the first half. Tell us what you saw, and we'll go down to the sideline in just a little bit for an interview.
This game is a good first half for both teams, more on the side of Reading. Let's see if we come to replay. And before we send it down to Nick Antonakis with some of the alumni of the Spy Ponders. This game started off the kick return to Kerbal and the consequential 3 and out.
3 minutes, 48 seconds. If you are a camera.
How about a nice hand from the very high dance team? Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Reading High School Marching Band and Color Guard.
Regardless, on top of our journey as ACMi Sports here to Reading, I am joined by an entire panel of former Arlington Spy Ponders. Guys, why don't you go down the line, introduce yourselves, and give me your positions that you played on when you were on the team.
So I'm Han. I played center, and I played D-end. So, yeah.
Yanni, center, D-tackle.
Anthony Alice, captain, class of 2022, O-line, D-line.
Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. The big subject of today, Arlington obviously looking for a win over Reading. It's been tough for them these past few years. You guys were on the squad when they were going to head-to-head with Reading. Talk to me a little bit about that rivalry that you guys have against the Rockets.
Yeah, man. Reading's always been a tough team to, play. We always do what we can to get prepared, listen to our coaches, put ourselves out there, and do what we can.
Yeah, like Han said, it's been pretty tough. They've always been that top tier team, and we've just tried to do our best with whatever we could to try to beat them.
Yeah, so this rivalry has gone back as far as we can remember, and we've always had to prepare very heavily for Reading, offensively, defensively, more than any other team in the league, besides maybe Woburn. Of course, we always prepared for all of them, and they still do prepare for all of them very hard. But Reading's one of those teams where you hear it and you're like, this is going to be real. So you got to be ready, and you got to come ready.
Especially when you're on the road, guys. I mean, we're in here for the first time traveling to cover a game, and the second we saw the lights start flashing, we thought we were losing power. It's clear that the total atmosphere here at Reading Memorial High School is different. Talk to me about your journey of when you used to travel to Reading. What was it like playing against the Rockets here on the road?
It was nervous, You come here, you get on the field, your heart starts beating. It's an unbearable feeling.
Yeah, like he said, it's tough, especially when you have all those fans chirping, all that stuff. But it is what it is. You got to perform. That's all.
So I think it's the same for every place you go to that's away. There's always chirping, there's always noise, but you learn to channel that out. You get tunnel vision, and you got to show them up on the first play. Those nerves go away, and you're good to go. So it's usually the same thing no matter which stadium you're at.
And the Spy Pounders obviously trailing here 20-7 as we enter the second half. Based off what you guys have seen so far, what do you hope the Spy Pounders do differently to hopefully come back into this one?
Offensively we could, be a little bit smart. I just saw that play with the little lateral twice. It was iffy, but could have ended very badly.
I would say definitely work on the passing game a little bit. Pass more towards the middle, I would say. You guys have been passing towards the sides, I'd say a lot. Switch it up, put a couple runs in there too, put them on edge.
We like to implement Caden a lot. They like to implement Kerbal a lot. Those are their big playmakers. If it would help them if they could get more passes downfield, especially in those third and long situations, throwing over to the side, doing those trick plays, those runs, isn't really going to work out all the time. So you got to figure out something new to do with a team that's this tough to play.
And Han, we'll send this last question to you. Your brother Emil has been forced into a huge role with the Arlington Spy Pounders, going from backup center to starting now that Gavin has been sidelined for the season. Talk to me a little bit about your relationship with him. Obviously, you're the former center for the Arlington Spy Pounders when you were playing in high school. What kind of pointers have you given him as he's transitioned into that starting role?
Yeah, man, I'm very proud of him. I never thought he was going to, come out and show out like this. But this summer I'm planning, get him ready for his, next year, get him good. Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much. Obviously, best of luck to the Arlington Spy Pounders throughout the rest of this game. We'll be back in the booth, myself and Miles Donato, in just a few minutes for second half action.
Without a change in the way that we are funded, this industry will not exist. It's not taxpayer money, it's cable subscriber money. The cable providers are mandated to give up to 5% of the money that they make in the town. As the number of cable subscriptions go down, so does the percentage that goes to a place to fund like ACMi. So many people in community media were able to step up during that pandemic and really keep local governments moving. So the demand really went up while the funding's going down. If you're asking cities and towns to put together not only the equipment, but the manpower to run that equipment, there's the real bottom line cost associated with that.
The history of ACMi in 100 seconds. First, we have to go back to the 80s. In 1980, the town of Arlington licensed its first cable television franchise with American Cable Systems, and for the first time there was a facility for public communication within the town. For the next 2 decades, hundreds of citizens used the facility to produce programming for Arlington cable subscribers in the 3 categories known as PEG, P-E-G, Public, Educational, and Government. Under that original license, Arlington Cable Access, or ACA, was created to help the public learn about and make use of the studio until 2006. Let's back up a little bit here, because in April 2003, ACMi was formed as a not-for-profit corporation by a group of Arlington citizens with the goal of improving communication in their town. Over time, a board of directors was chosen and the organization was designated Arlington's Official Access Corporation. In July 2006, ACMi signed its first agreement with the town of Arlington to assume management of Arlington Studio and PEG Community Access Television for the town, which marked the transition from ACA to ACMi. Today, ACMi operates multiple production facilities across the town and promotes the access to learn and engage in community media activities as a part of the action of ACMi News or Public Affairs, or learn how to produce independent films and documentaries. In addition to coordinating the live coverage of local meetings, special events, and sports, ACMi offers production training, studio facilities, and resources. And that was the history of ACMi in 100 seconds. Well, almost.
What's a first and 10?
Picks up the first down, he's got more.
Icing?
But it goes all the way back the other way. It's going to be an icing on the Spy Ponders.
Maybe sports isn't your thing. Or it is, but you've got more of an affinity for sports production. ACMi Sports is a student-run program that allows you to deliver the action your way. Directing, camera ops, reporting, engineering, and much more. Email sports@acmi.tv to learn more about how you can get involved.
Here and be able to speak with our fire chief, Kevin Kelly. So first of all, I want to welcome you very much.
Thank you, and welcome here.
And thank you for welcoming us here. It's been several years since we were last here, and the place still looks sparkling clean and impressive.
Well, it's nice.
I think they put bank up top.
That's dangerous! That's dangerous, and it's in! Unbelievable! Team Kanyan out of nothing! Unbelievable!
Without a change in the way that we are funded, this industry will not exist. It's not taxpayer money, it's cable subscriber money. The cable providers are mandated to give up to 5% of the money that they make in the town. As the number of cable subscriptions go down, so does the percentage that goes to a place to fund like ACMi. So many people in community media were able to step up during that pandemic and really keep local governments moving. So the demand really went up while the funding's going down. If you're asking cities and towns to put together not only the equipment, but the manpower to run that equipment, there's the real bottom line cost associated with that.
ACMi News always has you covered. Giving you up-to-the-minute stories that count. ACMi News, where the best stories are yours. ACMi News has you covered. Stay informed, because the best stories are yours.
Welcome back, everybody, to second half action here at Reading Memorial High School. Alongside Miles Donato, my name is Nick Antonakis, and the Arlington Spy Ponders currently trail the Reading Memorial Rockets by a score of 20-7. Obviously, we heard from AHS alumni at halftime about the huge rivalry between the Rockets and the Spy Ponders. Trailing in this one, the Spy Ponders are, Miles, but what would you do if you're Frank Roche and the rest of the coaching staff to kind of propel the Spy Ponders back into this one?
It's all going to be about the offense. It's been a struggle so far to get the first downs, especially early in the first quarter and going into the second before Roshan Mendel got into the game. That one drive where they did well, they got down the field, couldn't convert that fourth down, but other than that, it's been a struggle for this Spy Ponders team to get the first down. So getting those first downs are going to be so important. Opening up the passing game will be important, because if you open up the passing game, it will open up the run game, because Reading won't be so focused on stopping Mills. They will have to respect the pass.
Exactly, and that's been something that the Spy Ponders haven't really been able to establish so far here yet today. It's been majority run game for the Spy Ponders, and we saw a couple bursts from Caden Mills, and we won't see any more of that until Reading is at least done with their first drive of the half, as they will receive the second half kickoff.
Getting this stop will be very, very crucial. You can't go down 3 possessions. That is unsurmountable at this point with just one half left to go in a game. 3 possessions will determine this game.
And the Spy Ponders kickoff, here we go, underway in the second half. Rolls all the way back to the 5. Great kick for the Spy Ponders. Oh, and a broken tackle, and 2 makes something out of nothing there. That was number 7, Andrew Jack Voney, who already has 2 touchdowns on the day so far for Reading Memorial.
1 touchdown. He scored the first one.
Did he not score the third one?
No, Bursey scored the second 2.
Okay. That's why we appreciate you, Miles. Always on top of the stats. And regardless, Reading looks to make it a 3-score lead here on their home turf. Suffocate the Spy Ponders a little bit more each drive, but if you're the Arlington Spy Ponders, you need a stop on this, as you said before, Miles.
Yep.
1st and 10 coming at you from the 21-yard line.
Jack Murphy to lead his offense to hopefully for them, hopefully their first win of the season.
Takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff right down the middle, and the Spy Ponders are all over it. Gains about 1 at most, and they're actually going to mark it for about 2, making it 2nd and 8 for Reading.
Good stop for the Spy Ponders. That's what you need to do against this Reading running game, is get those short yardage stops. And you have to watch Jack Murphy to take off. He's done it 3 or so times in this game where he'll take off for big yardage.
2nd and 8 now, Murphy and shotgun. Takes the snap, looks to throw, low pass there, but it's still caught. The screen will actually lead to Reading losing some yardage on this one. Set up a 3rd and 9.
This is best case scenario for the Spy Ponders early here in the second half. Stopping Reading. If they can get this 3rd down, force Reading to punt, get the ball back, and if they score a touchdown, they're within a possession. So this is a good start.
3rd and 8 now for Reading Memorial. Murphy motions out Palm.
Watch Palm here. He'll be the target.
And he's looking Palm's way. Under pressure, the pocket collapses around him. He tries to air it out, and it was a battle for the ball. Reading came down with it. What a catch by Anthony Perillo.
Bobby Morris.
Was it Morris?
Yes, it was Morris.
Yeah, number 16. And that's enough to move the chains. Wow, what a play by Reading.
3rd reception of the game for Morris. Let's see. So 3rd down conversion for Reading. they'll get a new, fresh set of downs.
And they start right back from the top. Direct snap there to Jack Voney, and it's good for about 4.
It's a very big play for Reading getting that 3rd down.
And it's going to be about 2nd and 5 now for Reading. Not only bleeding the clock out, but moving downfield here as they inch closer and closer to midfield.
The game last year between these two teams ended 55-7. It's probably a similar score line after the first half. Let's see if the Spy Ponders can make a difference in this game versus last year.
That's a big play there by number 33 for the Arlington Spy Ponders, Dylan McGowan.
He's been amazing. This is his first year playing varsity minutes. He's a sophomore. Him and Ori Forrest, who played linebacker beside me last year as a freshman. But this is a young linebacker core.
3rd and 4 now for Reading. Takes the snap. Looking to throw to the screen. Wide open, bobbled and incomplete. The Spy Ponders get away with one there. Murphy was looking for Bursey, and the bobbled, incomplete pass is going to lead to the Spy Ponders getting the ball back with a punt.
Bursey has the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. He has a receiving touchdown on the year. But now Reading will punt for the first time in this game, and the Spy Ponders will get the ball back. Down to receive is Mills. Let's see what Mills can do.
Mills back to return. The punt is away. And it's going to bounce short of Mills. Great punt. It's going to stop around the 24-yard line. And Arlington does what they need to do. They get a stop. 8:33 left here in the 3rd quarter. Still plenty of time. And the Spy Ponders offense work their way back onto the field. I would be one to say, Miles, that this is probably a must-score drive for the Spy Ponders. Not only for the score sheet purposes, but to kind of shift the momentum back in their favor.
If they don't score, they have to stop Reading again, which is what they've only done once just now, the entire game, not counting the interception. But
Frank Roche seems to have made some first half adjustments, at least on defense. Let's hope it's the same story on offense, as the big question once again is Rashawn Mendel in there? Yes, he is. He's by the sideline right now talking to Frank Roche. Looks like he's going to be shifting back into this game. And the second Rashawn is even in the game, you already know that passing is going to be at least an option, which throws off the Reading defense just a bit.
Let's see if they will elect to pass early here in the second half.
Now quarterback Rashawn Mendel, number 9, back in the game for the Spy Ponders. 1st and 10. Takes the snap. Hands it off to Mills, a fumble, and that's brutal. A mishandled snap. Reading recovers deep in Arlington's end, and man, that's gotta hurt if you're Arlington.
That is the worst case scenario. Went from best case scenario to worst case scenario in a matter of seconds. Now Reading has the ball on your 30-yard line, and that's going to be a tough stop. Reading with the opportunity to pretty much put the game away, unless there are some interceptions, fumbles.
And once again, Arlington's defense needs to step up to the plate here. 1st and 10 from Arlington's own 27. Murphy takes the snap. Run goes bursting down the middle for a 1st down and more. That's number 2 for Reading, Devon Bursey.
Bursey was met by Mills, but that was just too many yards given up for the Spy Ponders. So now Reading will have a 2nd and short, maybe a chance to throw the ball, because you have trust in Bursey on the 3rd down if it is an incomplete pass. Let's see if they will pass the ball or run it with Bursey.
2nd and 1. Murphy
There's
takes
the
the snap.
pass.
He's going to throw wide open. That's number 16, Bobby Morris with another reception. That'll move the chains. Reading inches closer to Arlington's end zone to make this a 3-score game. And that pass will set them up around the 12-yard line.
Yep.
For another 1st and 10 for Reading.
Pretty quick huddle here
Yeah,
for Reading.
They're not slowing down. They're looking to get this score, and they're looking to get it fast. Murphy gets the snap, under pressure, rolls out to his left, throws, and it's tipped away by Jake Kerbel. Nice play by Kerbel on that one, number 6 for the Arlington Spy Ponders to deflect it away.
Good athletic play, diving up, tipping that ball. If that ball is not tipped, that is a for sure touchdown. Great play by Jake Kerbel.
And Reading now faced with 2nd and 10. Arlington's going to need to lock down in the red zone here if they want a chance to climb back into this one. 7 minutes, 20 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. So still some time for Arlington, but you really can't afford to give up a score here.
If I was Reading, I'd be running the ball every play, wasting as much clock as I possibly could.
Murphy takes the snap. He's going to take his own number. Tries to plow down the middle, but Arlington has a sea of white, shutting him down. I think he only gained about 2. That's going to set up 3rd and long.
Reading, if I'm Reading, I'm just taking my time. Take my time. Let the clock wind down as much as you can. Don't give Arlington even a chance to come back into this game.
That's the least thing you want to do with somebody like Caden Mills, who
Yes.
can run it down the field in one play alone to score a touchdown. You don't want to give the Spy Ponders a chance to climb back into this one. All of our Arlington fans at home are hoping for the opposite, of course. They need Reading to just give Arlington a chance to get back into this one here on 3rd and long. Down the middle, it's caught. What a tackle. Incomplete pass, he decked him so hard. Wow, I think that's the toughest hit I've seen all year. Let's look at this again.
Big hit from Mills. You know he lays the body. You saw it last year with that suplex.
Oh.
And that is not going to be a complete catch. He did not make a football move after grabbing that ball.
Wow, what a big hit. And it looks like Reading's bringing out their kicking team.
They're going to kick it on 4th down to go up 3 possessions anyways.
Yeah, they know Arlington's not going to be kicking any field goals anytime soon. So if you're Arlington,
this is still a 3-possession game if they make it.
You got to get this stop. You got to hope for something here on special teams.
Watch Kerbel blitzing on the outside.
Jake Palm lines up, takes the kick, and it is good. 23-7, Spy Ponders trail. Not the worst case scenario you could say because it wasn't a touchdown, but this game becomes a 3-score game because of Jake Palm's field goal.
Yeah.
And the flash of the lights again. And just as a reminder, we are not losing power. I promise.
All right, fans, we are in between.
Spy Ponders looking for anything to grasp onto. And considering
Technically, it's still a 2-point game if the Spy Ponders manage to get both 2-point conversions.
All right, so that's going to be a key to watch for.
Yes.
Have the Spy Ponders had any 2-point tries so far this year? I know you've been.
They mostly try 2-point conversions.
Okay. That's a great point to add, Miles, because with a team that's experienced with the whole 2-point try.
They are experienced, but they have not been very successful this season. Last season, we were pretty good on the 2-point conversions. We went for them regularly, I think. No, we had Gaspar, so we kicked a decent amount of extra points, but they have the ability to get the 2-point conversions. They've done it before.
And they're going to need it so far here today. It's going to be their biggest time to capitalize on that, if there is one. 6 minutes, 30 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. The Spy Ponders have time, but do they have offensive production to come forth and get them back into this game? Kickoff sails to who but Caden Mills. Mills has a lane down the middle, bursting with speed, gets to about the 35. And if you're Arlington, not only do you need to move down the field, but you cannot afford a turnover in this case, but
it's a tough situation.
Was that a fumble?
No, he was down.
All right, I thought I saw Reading players pointing as if possession was changing, but
I think maybe Caden has a tendency to just leave the ball after he's been down.
Okay.
So
beautiful insight here from former Arlington Spy Ponder Miles Donato. on his former teammate, Caden Mills, who has been an absolute force to be reckoned with for the Spy Ponders so far this year. We see Rashawn Mendel at the sideline with Frank Roche, the head coach for the Arlington Spy Ponders. He will most likely shift back into this game, and we cannot have what we had on the last offensive possession, which was a fumble on their first play.
You also cannot throw an interception, which is going to be an interesting dilemma for Roach. Will he just run the ball, which hasn't been very successful this season? I mean, not this game.
They do. They pitch it off to Mills. Doesn't go much of anywhere, about 2 yards.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this running game in this game has not been what it's been in the past games. In the past, Caden Mills averages 15.5 yards per carry. But in this game, it's probably been 2 yards per carry, 3
around there
at most. So it's been a massive difference because they can't get the running game going. And that's how you shut down this Arlington team, is you stop Mills.
Second and 7 now for the Arlington Spy Ponders. And Kerbal shifts back into this game at shotgun. He takes the snap. Jet sweep to Peter Harrison. He has some room on that left side. Makes a cut. Doesn't get much out of it, though. Maybe he got 2 or 3 yards at most to get him back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to give him a yard, but it's going to be 3rd and long for the Spy Ponders.
Jet sweep on second down is unsuccessful. Let's see. On 3rd down, do you pass the ball? Do you run a pass other than that screen play to Harrison?
You got to air out the ball here somehow, but it doesn't look like they're going to do it as Kerbal looks to enter himself back into the game. But this has got to be 4-down territory for the Spy Ponders, not only from the fact that their punting game has been horrendous, to say the least, but you need a score, and you need to score fast. You can't afford to give Reading the ball back without some points of your own on the board. And they fake the jet sweep to Harrison. A throw there, and it's bobbled and incomplete. Wide open was Darian Sherry. Kerbal even had the throw on the mark. A flag flies.
He threw it. He passed the line of scrimmage. Yeah.
And Reading's going to no, they're going to decline the penalty. And so they're going to set him up at 4th and 6. Spy Ponder's going to go for it regardless.
That was a
creative play, to say the least.
Yes.
Not able to cash out. And could we see Kerbal perhaps throw again on this play?
Well, Roshan is back into the game,
Yep.
so I would expect a pass from the junior quarterback.
Biggest play for the Spy Ponders is in front of them now. 4th and 6. They need this conversion. Mendel in shotgun. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Looks for Mills, he's under pressure. Throws on the run, and it is knocked away. He was looking for Jake Kerbal. But number 5, Jake Palm for Reading Memorial High. Number 5 with an absolutely fantastic defensive play. Reading will take over on downs deep in Arlington's end, and that is not what you wanted to see if you were the Spy Ponders.
Nope, because this is where the game could start to become undone.
Yeah, and the last thing you want the Spy Ponders to do is let Reading run away with it. You're still technically 2 scores away from tying this game up. But these constant opportunities that you're handing to the Rockets is going to eventually cost the Spy Ponders. We're not even crossed into the 4th quarter yet, so there's still time, but the Rockets look to take over here on offense. 1st and 10 from Murphy. Arlington brings the heat, and it's not enough as they get the ball off quickly for about a 6-yard gain.
The defensive turnover would be...
That was Jake Palm with the reception, number 5.
I think the Spy Ponders desperately need a defensive turnover.
Yeah, they need some sort of turnover here, Miles. You're definitely right about that. Momentum seems to be swinging in Reading's favor more and more every possession that there is in this game. Spy Ponder's got to turn it around.
That is a depth issue. Spy Ponders just don't have the depth to play against. Like, this Reading team.
Oh, Arlington
they run
brings
the same
heat again. Same type of screen, and this time a broken tackle for the first down. That's Devon Bursey, number 2 for Reading, who picks up the first down, and we move the chains, 1st and 10. Spy Ponder's just unable to stop this screenplay. It's the same look every time, but the middle of the field is just constantly wide open.
The D-line is struggling to read the play and dropping back. That's how you stop a screenplay. Is the D-line recognizes that, oh, I'm through way too easily. So they slow up, back up, look around, try and find that open player.
It's not working out for the Spy Ponders so far here today. Another run down the middle. This one doesn't look to go much of anywhere, maybe about 2 yards. Devon Bursey, number 2, with the 2-yard run. And that'll set up Reading for a 2nd and 8.
Spy Ponders have done a better job in this half containing Bursey to these 2-3-yard runs versus what he was doing in the first half, breaking away for major yardage. But does that come too late in the game?
Yeah, it seems that Arlington finally has their defensive look together. It seems that they're playing very cohesively as a defensive unit, but the offense is where things are lacking, Miles. And I think you're right in saying that it might have came just a little bit too late for the Spy Ponders as we trickle down. 2 minutes, 17 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter, I should say.
If you're able to get that stop at the end of the 2nd quarter,
and
then you're only down 1 possession.
Timeout Arlington. Oh, no, timeout Reading. Reading takes their first timeout of the half.
Very early timeout.
Must have not liked what they saw there. And from a Reading coaching perspective, you cannot afford to slow down here. You need every play to be perfected because with the momentum in your grasp, it's your game to lose at this rate, up by 23-7. And just having to completely prevent the Spy Ponders from getting back into it. Slow down the clock, yeah. I mean, you want to keep running down the clock, but you can't afford any mistakes to hand the Spy Ponders another offensive drive. Every time the Spy Ponders have the ball is a risk to Reading, so the longer that they can hold possession, the better.
Let's see what Reading has drawn up with this timeout.
Second and 8. Murphy's under center. He takes the snap. Rolls out to his left. Has some time to throw. He's looking deep. One-handed grab. Are you kidding me?
Jake Palm palms the ball down with
Let's
his
get a look
one
at this, Miles.
hand.
Check this out.
A throw from Murphy. I don't even know if it was intended for Palm, but Palm reached out, grabbed that, gets out of bounds. Beautiful play by Jake Palm, reaching out and snagging that ball down.
And that sets up Reading 1st and goal. Rockets are surging, and they don't seem to be stopping anytime soon. Jack Vaughney set up in the backfield, but they hand it off to Bursey, and he is just short of the end zone, marked at about the 3-yard line. Number 2, Devon Bursey, inching the Reading Memorial Rockets closer and closer to cashing in on their 4th touchdown of the day. Or their 4th touchdown of the day.
Murphy under center.
2nd and 3. Murphy takes the snap. Wide open lane down the middle. Devon Bursey with the score. And the Reading Memorial Rockets continue to establish their lead now at 29-7.
Is that Bursey's 3rd or 4th? Did he score the first one? Oh, no, they didn't get one. So
that's Bursey's 3rd.
That's Bursey's 3rd touchdown of the game. It's probably gone for around 130 yards.
Close to it, I'd say. Definitely over 100.
Yeah.
And he is not showing any signs of slowing down.
No.
Reading absolutely dominating the Spy Ponders right now. And while you could argue that time is still on the Spy Ponders' side, they haven't shown any glimpses of offensive gold here so far today. So regardless of whether or not they can muster up some quick scores, you're also going to need to slow down the Rockets, who have been on a roll as of late.
And they're going for 2.
Takes the snap, rolls out, under pressure, airs it out to the end zone, and it is caught.
Dropped?
Incomplete. You're right, Miles. That was an extremely catchable ball. That's why number 24 for the Reading Rockets, Liam Green, threw his hands in the air. Just disappointed in himself, not being able to come down with that ball. And the score now stands at 29-7. And regardless of the fumbled attempt at the 2-point conversion, we still get the lights flashing here at the Rockets Stadium. So a 3-score game for the Spy Ponders. They'll only need 1 2-point conversion now, but you're still going to need to put up 3 touchdowns. Miles, it seems bleak, but if you're Arlington's coaching staff, what are you drawing up?
I am drawing up that fake screen to Harrison and having Kerbal run that go route that they use in Stoneham. I've said it a couple times in this game. That's the most successful play I've seen.
And Reading prepares to kick off here. Jake Palm not only had a beast of a defensive play, but has been putting on a performance as kicker for the Rockets today. Back to receive is Kerbal and Mills. And you can believe that the Spy Ponders are trying to get that ball to Mills as best as they can. Reading has obviously been trying to kick away from him as much as possible today, and they'll throw a squib, and they won't even try to return that.
Peter Harrison.
Harrison didn't even
turtle up.
Attempt to run it back.
Let's see what. We have a kid running across the field.
Wow.
Oh, he's the T-boy for the kickoff.
What a pivotal job for the Reading Rockets Stadium here. It seems like everybody has a role in Reading's success so far this year. And while the Rockets have been a powerhouse in this league, they're looking for their first win on the season. They're 0-4. And obviously they've played some tough teams, but the Spy Ponders now setting up all offense for 1st and 10, Rashawn Mandel under center. Trying to get Reading to jump, but it's not going to work as they look to switch up the play. Audible to Kerbal. Mandel takes the snap. Throws it outside. It's caught by Mills, but he's swarmed by Rockets. It's going to be a loss of yardage there, a loss of about 4. And as I was saying, Miles, Reading winless on this year, but they've played some tough teams. Talk about it.
The average ranking for their opponents via max preps is 49.3. Meanwhile, the 2-2 Arlington Spy Ponders, their average opponent ranking is 161.3.
Wow. So an obvious difference between competition faced so far this year between the Rockets and the Spy Ponders. And part of that could explain to our viewers that records don't mean anything in this high school league. The Rockets 0-4, but an extremely competitive team and still looking to obviously try and slip into the playoffs as Rashawn Mandel takes the snap here on 2nd and 11. Caden Mills tries to take a run up the middle. He's going to go nowhere.
The Rockets currently sit 1 place out of the playoffs in Division III. Arlington is in the Division II playoffs by 1 spot. But, yeah, this game is actually not going to be very beneficial to the Spy Ponders, especially normally when you play a very good team, it boosts your ranking because you played a very good team, and opponent ranking matters a lot in MIAA rankings.
Yep.
But since Reading has been struggling so far this season, it's not going to be a massive boost that it normally is to play Reading. So
if anything, it's going to be more of a downfall on the loss side to lose to a lower-ranked team. So
exactly. So
regardless of whether or not the win has a huge impact on their standings, a loss could be detrimental.
Yes, very much so.
And we close out the third quarter with the Spy Ponders behind by a score of 29-7 in favor of the Reading Rockets. 1 quarter to go, 12 minutes, Miles. We've seen crazier things happen in Arlington Spy Ponders games. You've been a part of some of those.
Like what?
Well, at least back in my days of commentating, the Spy Ponders had some incredibly competitive matchups with Belmont, for example. We saw some times where they climbed back. Maybe it was before your time, actually. Starting to realize how long I've been doing this. So if you're down in the locker room or on the sideline in this case, going into the fourth quarter, what's the mentality walking into it?
If this was any other team, I feel like the mentality would be down. But since this is Reading, the mentality is anger. I mean, at least it would be for me. I would be angry right now that this game has gone the way it did, because this has been the best chance in years for the Spy Ponders to beat Reading.
Yep.
And they haven't capitalized. They haven't played Spy Ponders football.
And they hope to turn it around. They have 12 minutes to make a statement, Miles. Going to see how much they can do as Rashawn Mendel takes a snap, throws down the middle. It's caught by Kerbal, past the 50-yard line, taken down around the 47. That's a good start for the Spy Ponders as they move the chains. A great first play. We haven't seen too much of that yet.
When you've had that in your locker the entire time, it'd be nice to pass the ball more. It is a more risky play.
Yep.
But especially where you are right now, passing the ball is relatively the only game plan for the Spy Ponders, as they'll go hurry up to the line.
Mendel under center, first and 10 in shotgun. Takes the snap. He's going to look to throw fast. Caught and brought forward for about 7 there. That's number 5, Nico Trapotsis.
They've run that screen play to Nico all season. And this is how the Spy Ponders set up what I think might be happening right now is that screen fake on the outside.
Mendel takes the snap, has some time.
There we go.
Out to his right, he throws deep, and it is knocked away. Intended for Trapotsis. A good ball, but a great defensive play there by Reading. Just able to knock it out of his hands. Regardless, that's the type of play you don't want to be successful, because at least it stops the clock.
That's what I've been wanting to see all game. I've asked for that call, the fake screen, many times.
Yeah, you've been waiting for it.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it. They throw it. They almost got it. It
Looks
does
like
pull
they were waiting. Frank Roche was waiting to pull it out of his catalog here until the fourth quarter, and let's hope it pays off for the Spy Ponders as they take set up here, 3rd and 6.
Launch the ball to the outside to Kerbal here, or a wheel route from Mills.
Looks like they're changing the play. Mendel audibling with Frank Roche on the sidelines. And takes the snap. Throws it to Kerbal. It's caught. Makes a move. Pushes forward. I don't think he got the first.
He's going to be just short by inches. Inches short.
Wow. You got to think they might measure this.
This is a possible measure.
Yep. I think they're going to bring out the measurement. Looked like that's what the ref was motioning at first, but it doesn't look like they're going to do it. Frank Roche is more focused on the next play call, rather, because regardless if this is a first down, the Spy Ponders are still trying to move downfield.
Have been doing quite successful this season.
Somebody go down to the mic. The kids are going. Shut the mic. No. Oh, and a fumble. Reading recovers.
Strip sack fumble for the Reading Rockets. And that will pretty much put the game on ice entirely. Now, Reading Rockets have possession of the ball.
And what a brutal way for the Spy Ponders to turn things around. And actually, Reading now is going to take over on offense. As you said, Miles, just a brutal way for things to turn around for Arlington as Murphy sets up 1st and 10. Run down the middle.
Again,
Spy
in
Ponders
this half, the
stuff 'em.
Spy Ponders have done well in the run game. But shutting down the run game in the 4th and 3rd quarter doesn't matter if you've been allowing it the entire game beforehand.
Regardless, Spy Ponders are faced with a 3-score deficit with 9:35 to go here in the 4th quarter. All you can hope for is a defensive turnover, and Reading is obviously going to try to limit that as much as possible. And that's a legal formation. And that's
Just gonna
going
be
to
a
push
false
Reading back
start.
5 yards.
Let's see if the defensive line for the Spy Ponders can get to Jake Murphy. Like, can Darian Cherry leads the team in sacks? Can he, on the outside, get to the quarterback?
2nd and 14 now for the Rockets. Murphy takes the snap. Arlington's going to
Here
bring
comes
the heat.
Cherry.
Looks to throw downfield. It is caught. What a throw and what a catch all the way down to Arlington's 40. That's number 19, Brady Kamenos.
Kamenos has been very good on both sides of the ball for the Reading Rockets, the sophomore. He had that pass deflection on the deep ball for the Spy Ponders, and now making plays of his own here on offense.
And now Reading moves downfield with another 1st and 10 from Arlington's 40. Looking to pound down more points on the Spy Ponders. Takes the snap. Jet sweep. Doesn't
There
look
goes
like it's going
Cherry.
anywhere. Darian Cherry pushes him back all the way to midfield. That was Zach Labarolia who was looking for that one.
We do apologize for the commentary from one of the fans.
I'm back after a short absence. Arlington now set at 3rd and 16. And another jump from Reading. That's going to push him back. Spy Ponders getting a little bit of insurance here, at least from Reading's constant penalties. Not that there's much time for them to help him out, but if you're looking in the grand scheme of things to make every second count, at least this is pinning Reading a little bit deeper.
If I were Reading in this situation, I'd just run the ball twice and then punt.
That's what you'd look to see, but Reading's starting in shotgun, and they're going to look to throw. No mercy here from the Rockets. They throw down the middle. That's tipped, incomplete, stops the clock. 4th down.
If you run the ball there, you kill just a little bit more time.
And this is where the Spy Ponders have to bank on Caden Mills the most, Miles. He's dropping back to receive this punt.
Let's see what kind of punt Palm can do. Can he get it deep, pin the Spy Ponders? No, that's going to go straight out of bounds. Nearly hitting the T kid.
trooper all day, the T-Kid has been, and almost gets decked by the punt there. But regardless, it's going to be set up around Arlington's 37. 6 minutes, 31 seconds left. Miles, you got to be trying some trick plays here for the Arlington Spy Ponders. You can't afford anything going wrong in terms of losing time and not scoring. First and 10. They're going to start from the 39. And into the huddle comes Rashawn Mendel. Let's see what Frank Roche has up his sleeve. Mendel takes the snap. Rolls out, throws to Peter Harrison on the run. He makes the grab, and it's good enough for about 2 yards. That's not what you want to see if you're the Spy Ponders.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, Peter Harrison. He catches all of those.
Definitely, he's making an impact with the amount of receptions he has. It's just too late in the game to be going for those short chunk plays. You got to be going deep every time.
Will French, the injured offensive lineman, sophomore, just came in the game for a snap and then quickly exited to get replaced by Taz.
Second and 8. Mendel takes the snap, airs it out to Kerbal. No blocks really for him there, but he's still able to roll forward for about 8. It's going to set up about 3rd and 2 now for the Spy Ponders.
If I'm Frank Roach right here, I am dialing up whatever play it is that gets me big passing yardage. There is an injured Reading Rocket player.
Player down for Reading. Five minutes, 20 seconds remaining here in the contest. Arlington trails 29-7, and this seems like a pretty serious injury on behalf of Reading. We're obviously hoping the best for him. Oh, and he's sitting up on his own. That's a good sign. A little bit of a scare there as number 78 for the Reading Rockets.
79.
Isaac
999.
79. It's Jeremiah Stanford. Third and 1. Roshan Mendel takes the snap, looks to throw. Wide open down the field is Caden Mills. He's going to run in for the score. That's a touchdown for the Arlington Spy Ponders. 1 inch closer to getting back into this one, but with 4 minutes, 53 seconds, it might be a little bit too late for the Arlington Spy Ponders.
Nice play for the Spy Ponders. Roshan Mendel finds Mills, and if Mills has that space, he is gone. Scores his second touchdown of the game. With a little hobble, walks over to the sideline. His ankle still clearly bothering him. And
that's not what you want to see.
No, it is
but
not.
Regardless, he comes in for the score. Spy Ponders are going to go for the extra point, and would you go for an onside kick here, Miles?
Yes, that's your only option at this point in the game.
Have we been successful at all so far this year? Have we even tried it? When was the last time we tried an onside kick? I can't even recall.
Last year. We hadn't tried one this season.
And how did it go?
I don't remember.
Well, we hope it went well, because Spy Ponders are going to need to pull one off here if they want to get back.
I'm not sure how much they've practiced the onside kick.
Yeah, that's another thing.
We did it at least twice a week last season, but I'm not sure with this new coaching staff how often they practice these onside kicks or special teams in general. Let's see. I'd assume the onside kick is your only option at this point in the game if you want to go for this victory.
It's going to be, I'm curious to see how Arlington's going to try and pull this one off. Reading obviously seems ready for it. And Arlington with their biggest play of the game, Peter Harrison, is going to take the kick. If that's not already an obvious sign that they're not going to take it. And it's recovered by Reading.
Okay.
Deflating for Arlington.
Not the worst onside kick from Peter Harrison, considering he has not kicked before this season. Before week 3 of this season, he has not kicked.
And if you weigh in from the Reading side of things, they've played aggressive throughout this entire game. If they dare to go for some sort of offensive play, and the Arlington Spy Ponders can cash in on a defensive turnover, maybe you say we have a chance at getting back into this one. But if they can't cough up the ball, whether it's through a fumble or an interception or a turnover on downs, God forbid, if you can push them to a 3-and-out, then you're pretty much out of this game. The Spy Ponders are going to have to bring all the heat they have left in the tank here on this defensive possession.
And with no Caden Mills on defense, that might be an even tougher task.
You're definitely right, Miles, as Murphy lines up under center, takes the snap. That run goes nowhere. Devon Bursey gets about 1 yard.
Good job by Darian Cherry.
Ponders take their first time out.
Again, this second half, the run defense has been excellent for the Spy Ponders. I'm interested to know what the coach has said to the front seven that has made such a big difference in the way they've played against the run.
To me, what it seems is just an absolute clog in the middle. And while the run defense has been incredible, Miles, like you've said, it's costed them a little bit in the short ball game. We've seen a lot of completions down the middle. We've seen that opening time and time again down that middle seam for Reading. And they do capitalize on it.
That is the weakness of this defense, is that middle seam. It's been there since preseason. That's what I noticed about the defense immediately, is that middle of the field is open. Those short curl routes are open.
Yep. And, I mean, in this case, you're daring Reading to throw the ball, so it may not be as bad here, but they're going to continue to run regardless. And, wow, look at that breaking of tackles by Devon Bursey. He pushes forward for well over a first down. Number 2 for Reading Memorial High. And
Bursey carrying Cherry on his back.
There's a huddle
for around 8 yards.
I don't know if it's an injury or a fumble.
That's Bursey getting up.
And it looks like everybody's okay, and there's no fumble.
4 minutes 30 remaining.
Spy Ponders took a timeout. They're letting it run now. Looks like it was a do or die on that first offensive possession on behalf of Arlington in terms of attempting to win this game. Unless they get a miracle of some sorts here, Reading seems to have this one in the bag. Murphy under center, takes the snap. Handoff down the middle again, and just such a dynamic runner is Devon Bury.
Very patient.
Bursey has been all over the field so far today. 3 touchdowns, and it's constantly just driving nails into the coffin of this Arlington Spy Ponders squad. Now we're set up at 2nd and 3.
I'm the Spy Ponders. I'm taking out my not 100% players, and I'm resting them for next week against Belmont.
Belmont on Saturday. We will have that covered, a featured production here on ACMi Sports, and another first down for Reading. And I just want to take a second. Although the Spy Ponders, it's not seeming like they'll be able to pull off the huge upset that they've been longing for years, but ACMi Sports is making milestones here. Thank you so much to our entire crew for building up the momentum and courage to travel here on the road all the way to Reading High School. As the sports producer intern here at ACMi, I never thought that something like this could be possible, and without our crew, it wouldn't be happening here today. So very thankful to not only our entire crew, our youth coordinator Jasper Hamilton, but you, Miles, for coming out as Reading's going to score another touchdown. What a cherry on top of my nice little story there and speech. Why don't you just stab me right in the heart, Reading? And it hurts.
Jack Voney with his second touchdown of the game. That would be 35-36 with the extra point to 14. 2 minutes 43.
Look at this Reading crowd. It's USA theme night, I just realized. Wouldn't be too helpful to see that from this very elite press box here at Reading, but you can't really see the sides of the field.
Oh,
as they
fumbled the snap. Curbo with the tackle.
A pivotal 2 points off the board there for Reading High. Now we're only down 3 scores, and this time it's even. We don't need any extra points. The elite flashing of the lights, that's cool. Wish we could have that in Arlington. But regardless, 2 minutes 43 seconds remaining in this contest. Spy Ponders trailing by a score of 35-14. And I guess maybe a more positive note to end on from my little spiel before. Thank you not only to our entire crew for schlepping out here today for today's production, but for all of us who helped get here, whether it was parent volunteers driving some of our crew. We hopped in with some of the cheerleaders with some of our crew. Thank you to the cheerleading squad for Arlington High for helping us get out here today. Thank you so much to Reading Memorial High School for allowing us to use this space, RCTV for collaborating with us and giving us the internet connection. Without all of these pivotal pieces to put this puzzle together, we would not be here. So very appreciative to everybody I've been in contact with this past week, helping make this huge production happen. And we're so thankful that we were able to do it and hope to do more like it in the future. Regardless, Reading's going to kick off here to the Spy Ponders with 2:43 left in the game. Squib kick, and Peter Harrison receives it. Let's see what he can do. Flooded by Reading defenders there around the 37, and this is when I'd assume, and I guess the same from you, Miles, is perhaps we start to see some backups get some reps.
I already see one. Nico Trapostis' younger brother, the freshman Alexi, is in on the game. But that's the only difference I see in the starting lineup for the Spy Ponders.
Looks like he's going to run in the Wildcat.
If I were Frank Roach, I am resting my starting line right now. I cannot afford to take any more injuries.
Kerbal is going to run it to the right. Has some room. Gets out to the sideline. He's pushed out around the 49. And it's going to be just short of the first down. 2nd and 2 coming at you. Second and 2. 2:27 to go. Clock is stopped thanks to Kerbal heading out of bounds. And Arlington stutters to get out of the huddle here.
Roshan back in the game.
See what Mendel is going to do this play. Takes the snap, looks to throw, has some time, airs it out to his right, and it is way overthrown. He was looking for Kerbal, or Darian Cherry, I should say. But I just want to take a moment to thank our entire crew, myself as the producer and play-by-play commentator tonight, Miles, our color, Jasper Hamilton, our technical manager. We have Mazen directing, Greg technical directing, Jack on replay, Kai working graphics and stats, Letty on camera 1, Ruhan on camera 2, Abby on camera 3, Francis on camera 4, Jolin on camera 5, and a huge thank you again to Reading Memorial High School for lending us out the space here today to put this production together. Mendel takes the snap, airs it out, looking to the right side, and that one was closer. He was looking for Harrison, but still incomplete. It's going to be 4th and 2.
Time going down very, very slowly.
Yeah, it keeps stopping now that we're attempting all these pass plays. You think we could have done this a little bit earlier, but regardless, the Spy Ponders down 3 scores, but still some positives to take away from this game. Wouldn't you say so, Miles?
Yes. They did a very good job against this Reading offense. Defense played well. It's just a shame. The injuries are just a massive shame because it very much stunts the offense, not having those key players.
Mendel gets
healthy.
it off to Mills, who is going all the way down the right side. One man to beat, he does, and he's going to score a touchdown here. A bit of momentum shifting for the Spy Pawners as we trickle just under 2 minutes. Who but Caden Mills is able to make that dynamic play? And like you said, he's not 100% today here, Miles. He's struggling with that ankle injury, but it's not showing. He's still dominating. 3rd touchdown of the day.
3rd touchdown of the day, many yards, because he has his explosivity is next to none.
And if you got to pick out a star of the game for Arlington, it's got to be Caden Mills.
Yes.
Not only did he have the interception on Reading's first offensive play that turned into a pick 6, but he's had 2 offensive touchdowns ever since. 3 TDs on the day for Mills, a boatload of rushing yards. He's had a couple of receptions, and
it puts him on
2-point attempt there from Arlington is not successful.
13 touchdowns on the season in what?
This is our 5th game.
This is our 5th game, but he didn't play. So 4 games in 1 quarter. He scored 13 touchdowns and has a passing touchdown just to add on to it.
And a defensive touchdown.
No, I'm counting. Oh, okay, yeah. I was counting the defensive touchdown towards the total touchdowns. Because he has also 2 kick return touchdowns.
He's got to be getting some looks from some higher-end college scouts, wouldn't you think?
I think he has some Division III looks already.
I mean, I'd be scooping him up as soon as I can, especially at that D3 level. That'd be a steal if you could get him at D3. And I could even see a guy like Mills developing into a player once he picks a more specific role come college time. Maybe you can see him transferring up to a D2 school and making his mark and perhaps making it to the pros. Obviously, when he talked to us preseason when we were putting together that documentary, which if you haven't already checked out, make sure to go over on ACMi Sports. Miles and I produced AHS Hard Knocks, an Arlington High School documentary.
Oh!
And we recover the onside kick.
Jacob Kerbel with the onside kick. What?
No.
What do you mean no? What do you
Refs
mean
are saying no.
In what way is that a no? Show a replay of that?
We don't have it.
How is that not recovered? It went way more than 10
yards.
It went way more than 10.
Talk about, throwing us a bone. You can't even throw us that when it was clearly
that was like 2 yards away from the 50-yard line.
Are there coaches' challenges at the Arlington
no.
high school level? Yeah, I assume not. But this is the time where we get the classic Belichick reach for the sock and dramatic throw onto the field from Frank Roche, if that was possible. Unfortunately, it's not. But as I was saying, if you haven't already checked out AHS Hard Knocks on ACMi Sports, Miles and I produced an entire documentary covering the Arlington Spy Pawners preseason. Turned out great. If you haven't already seen it, make sure to go check it out. A lot of hard work went into that on Miles and I's part, so we'd appreciate you looking at it. But heartbreak there for the Spy Pawners. We definitely thought they should have had that onside kick recovery. Reading may have gone away with one there, but Arlington's going to call a timeout regardless. A minute 48 to go. And that would have been a totally different game, Miles, if we had actually recovered that onside kick. And I see you looking at it on your phone here. Let's see.
I'm going to try and pull it up.
Timeout by Arlington. Refs are discussing. Not like you can go back on the play now, but.
I know, but I just still want to see.
Let's see it.
Especially during this timeout.
So on Miles' phone, we are watching back. Ooh, that is close. Depends on when he touches it.
Yeah.
I guess you can see it's at the 49. So, close call. Could go both ways, but unfortunately does not fall in the favor of the Spy Ponders that time around. Minute 48 to go here in the game.
Hello?
Spy Ponders looking for a miracle. And that's Arlington's last timeout. We will go to third down.
One more first down here.
And I guess
and
if they get this first down, it's over.
Yep.
But if you get the ball back as Arlington, you happen to score a miracle with Mills, and then you get an onside kick and you score again. I mean, I guess it's possible. It's not over till it's over is something that I like to say, but things are looking bleak for the Arlington Spy Ponders. Not over till it's over. Third and 6. Third and 3. Handoff down the middle. Tries to cut to the outside. And there's that run defense we've been talking about all day, Miles. Spy Ponders are out of timeouts now. I'd assume that Reading, I mean, personally, why don't you go for it? Because if you get this first down, it's over. But I guess you might want to play it safe and punt.
They're going for it.
All right. Interesting.
Deep ball. That's what I would do.
If Arlington gets to stop here, then they have a real chance because they're at least set up in field position to get a score.
This was Madden. I'm throwing a Hail Mary.
And Reading calls a timeout as they let the clock run as far as they can. 54 seconds is the magic number for Arlington. Not over till it's over.
Did Reading call a timeout?
They did.
Okay.
Miles, in the event the Spy Ponders get the ball back here, what's your play call?
The fake screen.
Yeah.
Or
you've loved that fake screen so far today,
yes. Or the seams, like the seam with Mills, that works pretty well regularly. You run the seams with Kerbal out of the tight end and then Mills. I feel like that has a high success rate as long as you get the protection from the offensive line and give Roshan enough time to throw the ball.
First step in the Spy Ponders' journey to making a miraculous comeback is a stop here. And nope, they're going to punt.
They're going to punt, so let's see. Mills
Who's
can
back
return this.
Yeah, Mills is back there. You do not want to kick it to this guy if you're Reading. It's going to fly short.
It's a good punt.
Out of bounds. Marks it about the 25. Arlington Spy Ponders, 46 seconds to go.
Need 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. Got to go score by score here if you're Arlington. Let's focus on getting the first one, but you got to get it extremely fast. And with 2 onside kick attempts so far today for the Spy Ponders, both unsuccessful, of course.
They're getting closer every time, though.
They are. And, I mean, third time might be a charm. You never know. But regardless, we got 46 seconds to go. Spy Ponders down 20-35. And Frank Roche and crew got to call up a miraculous play here that we both assume is going to go to Caden Mills. Rashawn Mendel having a discussion with Frank Roche on the sidelines. And here we go, back to the huddle. 46 seconds. We've been talking all game, Miles, about how this is a huge game for Arlington. They've wanted to beat Reading so bad. They thought this was the year they could do it. You still have a chance. Just got to make something happen. First and 10
Watch Kerbal on the outside.
25.
He's gone.
Mendel looking to throw deep, and it is incomplete. He was looking for Kerbal. More like triple covered there, but he almost got his hands on the ball. 38 seconds to go. Not the worst case scenario because you still got some time. But if you're going to throw to the middle of the field, you got to be prepared to run down and clock it as soon as possible.
No timeouts is extremely tough.
Yep. The best case scenario for the Spy Ponders is they get a score here, they get the onside kick, and you have one play to make something happen. They're not going to have enough time to make more than one play happen on that last possession. God forbid they even get the ball back. So now 38 seconds. Spy Ponders marked at the 31-yard line. on their own side of the field.
Watch the fake screen here. No, they're just going to send it deep.
Send it down the sideline, and it's dropped. Peter Harrison had his hands on it, but it's incomplete. 31 seconds to go now. That would have been a great play for the Spy Ponders because he would have gone right out of bounds and stopped the clock.
That's what I get for saying he never drops the ball.
And he's been consistent all year. We'll give Peter Harrison credit where credit is due. A pivotal drop there, but you can't really blame a guy who's been so consistent on the reception side of things so far this year. Things getting bleaker and bleaker for Arlington. Every play that goes by without a score. 3rd and 10 from the 31 with 31 seconds to go. And if you're Arlington, I'd be going to Mills here. If there's anybody who can make something happen, it's Mills.
Reading very deep with the safeties in the corners.
Roshan throws, caught by Kerbal.
And he gets out of bounds. 4th down.
Chunk play, maybe 6 yards there. It's going to set up 4th and 5. And interesting, I guess. We got 23 seconds to go. You got to shoot downfield. Because even if you get this first down, you have to score. You're kind of running out of time here to be getting chunk plays.
We're running out of time in general.
Yes. Mills still in the backfield. I'd put him out wide, but they're not going to do that. Oh, they're going to screen it off, and incomplete.
And that will do it.
That's going to wrap for the Arlington Spy Ponders. Attempted pass to Caden Mills there for a last attempt at winning this game, but the score stands at 35-20. That's where it'll sit in favor of the Reading Memorial Rockets. They should get their first win on the season if they get this knee down correctly, and the Spy Ponders suffer their 2nd straight loss.
It's a long discussion for just taking a knee.
Yeah, but their 2nd straight loss for the Arlington Spy Ponders. They'll drop to 2-3 on the year, pending this knee from
They've taken out
Reading.
Jake Murphy, and I think since it's senior night, they've put out a full senior lineup to take the knee.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Nice honor there from Reading.
Number 25, that is, nope, that's a junior. So maybe not. Maybe they just don't have.
Maybe they don't have enough seniors. Maybe they just put them all out there. Regardless.
He threw the ball.
Reading is going to win this game.
That should have been
35-20.
That should have stopped the clock. He threw the ball at the ground first before taking the knee.
Well,
but it's fine.
Regardless,
that will do it.
Reading gets the win.
On high.
Arlington Spy Ponders unable to get the upset on the road to Reading, but regardless, it's been a successful day for Arlington. On behalf of ACMi Sports, coming out and covering our first production on the road. So thankful to our entire crew for coming out here today. Miles, talk us through the end of this game over some nice highlights from the game as we prepare for our post-game show at the sideline.
Overall, it's a good game for both teams. Reading controlled the majority of the game, had the ball for the majority of the time, and that really started to wear down the Spy Ponders late in the first half, especially the run game, which they managed to fix going into the second half, but those touchdowns at the late parts of that first half really cost the Spy Ponders a chance in this game. If they had 3rd down 1 possession going into the half, this could have been a different game, but instead it ends 35-20, and Reading takes the lead. It's a good game from both running backs. Devon Bursey, 3 touchdowns and a good chunk of yards. And Caden Mills also with 3 touchdowns, one of which the defensive interception on the first play of the game. Spy Ponders missing an aerial attack game in today's game. Overall, it was a good game, while the Spy Ponders, well, Reading managed to use both their running game and the passing game. Thank you for the ACMi crew for everything today. Thank you for Reading for allowing us to use these facilities. Final score of this game, 35-20. Momentarily, we will send you down to Nick Antonakis for a post-game show. This congratulations to Coach John Fiore in his 20th season, first win on the season, as we will prepare to send you down to Nick Antonakis.
The Arlington Spy Ponders, unfortunately unable to get the win against the Reading Memorial Rockets, losing by a score of 35-20. While the Spy Ponders were unable to get the win today, there's still a lot to be proud of on behalf of Arlington. Some great aspects of this game from the Spy Ponders, as Miles and I talked about. They had a great run defense, but Reading, an extremely tough team. When you can put up a fight against Reading and push it to the end, that's a win in itself. So while the Spy Ponders are unable to get their first win of the season against Reading here tonight, they look to next week back in Arlington to bounce back and improve their record back to 3-3. Right now, they stand with a record of 2-3 on the season, dropping to a losing record, making that 2 straight losses for the Arlington Spy Ponders, but still plenty of time to work their way back. As we set up in the booth, Spy Ponders currently sitting in playoff position, but they're going to need some wins here towards the end of the season, and ACMi Sports will be there to cover it. Obviously, a huge thank you to everybody at ACMi Sports for making this production happen, traveling out here to Reading and covering this game on the road. We'll be back in Arlington next week for the Spy Ponders matinee matchup on Saturday as we cover back in our regular stadium. But until then, on behalf of the entire ACMi Sports crew, my name is Nick Antonakis. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching tonight. We'll see you next week.